Welcome to another offline video. In this episode, we feature two highly volatile characters from the mid to low tiers in Bloody Mary and Hamlet. To the left, I play as Bloody Mary, a move tree solo fighter with an ability that says that if she starts a turn with 3 cards, she gains 1 action. On the right, Ezir plays Hamlet, a new pseudo solo fighter from the Slings and Arrows set who, if they choose not to be, can damage themselves to gain +2 damage for that turn. Bloody Mary has been considered a low-tier fighter for a long while, but since her release, many fans of the fighter have discovered that she has multiple favorable to decent matchups into some high tiers such as into Yunenga and Bigfoot. To start this game, I maneuver and boost with Ghostly Touch. I attack with Bloody Requiem into the place to thing. Hamlet wins the combat, but fortunately for me at least doesn't heal. I discard Broken Glass, one of Bloody Mary's best cards, although I'm not very sure how good it is in this matchup. Bloody Requiem's double attack activates and Hamlet takes the hit. I'm currently at 3 cards and threaten a 3 action turn, but Hamlet chooses not to be and basically demands me to defend his next attacks to force me off 3 cards. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern takes the damage, and Hamlet attacks with Uncertain Doom into evade. This is probably the best interaction I can hope for, since I only take 1 damage and keep my 3 card hand. Hamlet attacks again, and I strongly debate just taking the hit so I can hit back again with a 3 action turn. But in the end, I defend with Infinity Mirror as he attacks with To Sleep Perchance to Dream. Defender resolves first, but I decide to just stay there. Hamlet then pushes me 1 space away to dissuade a double attack. For my turn, I just do a double maneuver and boost with Trick of the Light to keep my hand at 3 cards. I thought that since Hamlet doesn't have any feints, there isn't much stopping me from just trying to trigger my ability as much as possible. Hamlet chooses to be and draws 4 cards in their turn, building up their hand to full capacity. Bloody Mary's ability activates and I gain an action, for a total of 3 actions that turn. I maneuver for my first action and attack Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Unfortunately for me, the interaction ends up being pretty bad, as I attack with another Bloody Requiem into a Maddening Insight that very easily blocks for 3. I end up dealing no damage and having to discard a card from my hand just for attacking into a sidekick. Any damage dealt to that sidekick is especially important since it forces any future not to be damaged to Hamlet's HP. This ends up spooking me into running away. Hamlet chooses not to be and deals 2 damage to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and does a simple maneuver next to me. He attacks with To Sleep Perchance to Dream into a Broken Glass. My card goes up to 4 but his goes up to 5, so I still end up taking 1. In this matchup, To Sleep seems like a very solid attack, letting you hit with a 5 and always guaranteeing a pushback since Bloody Mary can only defend up to 4. To close the gap and forcing a 3 action turn, I use Closer Than She Appears since I'm only 1 space away. I attack with Ghostly Touch into The Rest is Silence, shutting down my 3 action turn before it's even begat. I choose not to boost for whatever reason and my turn just ends there. This matchup, or at least this specific game, is especially fun because of how on the edge both fighters have to play to squeeze as much power from their decks. Hamlet chooses not to be and finally kills off Rosencrantz, meaning that he basically gets full value from their sidekick. Hamlet uses Method in the Madness, looking for better cards to attack with. Right now, both players are confident this game isn't going to fatigue. Hamlet attacks and I choose to take, successfully sniffing out an Uncertain Doom. Good news, I didn't waste a versatile card, but bad news, I still end up taking 4 damage. I say both sides come out with a win, though only one side took a 4 value attack. Both players just try to draw back up their hands as I do a double maneuver turn. Unfortunately for me, Hamlet is a lot better at drawing back up to full and does a double maneuver. He ends right next to me and postures very aggressively. I have 3 cards in hand, so I have 3 actions. For my first action, I use a Stolen Memories on a The Rest is Silence. Hamlet opts to just take the 3 damage, which is probably the best thing for him to do. I maneuver in place for my second action, though I should have left the zone to maybe threaten a jump scare. Then, for my last action, I attack with an Out of the Mirror into an Outrageous Fortune. Hamlet ends up blind boosting a nothing either good or bad from his deck, turning his defense value into a 2. I pull out a Method in the Madness, dealing 2 damage. I also get to draw a card for this being my 3rd action, which isn't the best reward and would have really loved hitting with a 7 right now instead. Hamlet chooses not to be, dealing 2 damage to himself. He attacks with a 4 value Uncertain Doom again, which I take. For his second action, he attacks with a Cruel to be Kind into a jump scare, which is just a 3 value defense since I haven't left my zone this turn. He boosts his attack with the Rest is Silence, trying to squeeze in as much damage as he can at this point. This knocks me down to 1 HP, meaning just one good hit is enough to knock me out. I double maneuver for my turn and boost with a Mirror Image, which all but guarantees 2 damage will go through because of Hamlet's ability. This leaves me at 3 cards. Since I'm getting a bit desperate at this point, it was worth a shot to force a 3 action turn next round. Hamlet double maneuvers with a 2B turn, drawing 4. In any case, if I don't go in now, it won't be too hard for Hamlet to find an avenue to just maneuver, boost, and attack with a +2. I maneuver next to Hamlet and debate whether to attack for my second action or maneuver in place. I maneuver in place and attack for my third action. It ends up being a speak 3 times into a 6 value Maddening Insight, which means I only get to deal 1 damage after all that. If I attack for my second action, I risk getting sent off with a Readiness is All to some other part of the map, or suffer from an all but guaranteed the Place the Thing. Hamlet chooses not to be and hits with a 5 value the Place the Thing over a 4 value Broken Glass, dealing 1 damage to finish the game.